PF's Women's League at the Harare International Conference Center, organizing an event whereby the president of Zimbabwe, that is Emmerson Mnangagwa, was expected to give them or to launch a presidential fund, according to Zanu PF, amounting to a sum of 3 million United States dollars. And as expected, we expected this event not only to focus on resource allocation for empowerment, but in its reality or in its real sense, to exhibit the purpose and the reason why this particular event was actually put into place. It is not meant to empower women, but it had a political scope to actually achieve. Did it achieve that? Stay tuned on this and more as we unpack this subject. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Pani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. So yesterday's Women's League event was attended by both two warring figures within Zanu PF, that is retired General Chiwenga, as well as also Emmerson Mnangagwa. Now, the Women's League, you would know that the strategy has been to call for Emmerson Mnangagwa to go to continue as president up to 2030, but they are now asking more. They were singing songs calling for Emmerson Mnangagwa, or even making speeches calling for Mnangagwa to remain the president of Zimbabwe and to suspend elections up to 2033. I think we have predicted long time ago that 2030 was just trying to blindfold Zimbabweans. It was a soft way of Emmerson Mnangagwa continuing as a president for the third term, and most probably preparing to cement his authority as actually a leader of his dynasty, and preparing for his sons as well as grandsons to capture the political system of Zimbabwe. Nothing short of that. So we are already seeing this. Don't ever think this is coming from these women. This is not coming from the women. These women are simply given money to actually chant the slogan. Now, when they are chanting the slogan will be converted into a Zanu PF policy. So we may see during the Zanu PF's conference, these women, as well as other structures of Zanu PF, calling for Emmerson Mnangagwa to go for a third term and to suspend elections. So which means if this is allowed, Emmerson Mnangagwa will have a term of 10 years without elections and with no guarantees of future elections. This is what we see in so many detectors, particularly in Africa, that these days they are so much praised by the people. Remember, if we are to characterize the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa in its true sense, the democracy was suspended since 2017. Because 2018, Mnangagwa did not win elections. He rigged elections and he killed people on the streets in order to inflict fear and to actually put his foot down so that nobody in Zimbabwe will attempt to protest, knowing that protesting comes with actually exchanging your life. So we are seeing a lot of people being afraid, even though Zimbabwe is at its worst compared to what it was during 2017. I think that is the honest truth. Zimbabwe is going down the drainage compared to the period when Mnangagwa was not president. He actually made the country to be worse At the moment now, what is working? It is money within Zanu PF. A lot of money has been pumped towards making sure that Emmerson Mnangagwa remains as the president. This time around, not up to 2030, but up to 2033. So it was 2030 was an indirect way of actually seeking for a third term. Or let me put it this way, because if it is allowed, then that we will see Emmerson Mnangagwa becoming a life president. Zimbabwe would be reduced to some form of a North Korea of some sort. And let me predict this. If the current crop of the military generals allow this, especially those who were there when the coup was orchestrated to remove Robert Gabriel Mugabe, they are perceived by Emmerson Mnangagwa as a future threat. So we have seen some of them being eliminated, and there is high probability that if 2033, this time that they are actually singing, is achieved, then we may see the West at the end of the day. We may see actually Zimbabwe's future will be future. We will automatically be the North Korea of Southern Africa, as we have noticed during the reign of he is seemingly actually cascading the mentality of Zanu PF in Southern Africa. And Zanu PF is cementing its authority in Southern Africa. It is seen as a perfect example. It is negatively influencing other countries in terms of how they are conducting elections. If you think I'm lying, I would not talk about what they did in Namibia. Let's look at elections which would be conducted in Malawi. I think it's some days or a few weeks to come. We will be watching those elections. You will see they would be conducted in a similar manner, the way Zimbabwean elections are conducted, just like what we witnessed in Namibia. We spoke about that, or what we witnessed in Mozambique. They tried to do so in South Africa, but because of strong institutions, we did not see much, but they actually shared some notes with the government of South Africa, and it actually adopted some, because Zanu PF literally came to South Africa to campaign for ANC, which is, when you look at democracy as well as issues of meddling with the internal affairs of other countries, that was actually directly doing so. And in Botswana, they tried to do it, but of course, it was thwarted also because of the strong institutions. But for how long will these institutions resist the influence of Zanu PF? So the removal and the dismantling, maybe let me say, of Zanu PF or the Mnangagwa faction at the moment is of primary importance. It would not only rescue the people of Zimbabwe, but it would have also rescued. Look at even the Zwikanandas. Zwikanandas, they are seeking to conquer not only Zimbabwe, but to conquer Southern Africa. You see them, they are busy taking pictures with other heads of state across Southern Africa as well as the African continent. Don't ever think they are playing, they mean business. They are actually giving a lot of money, buying business space within the African continent to cement the, and we know when you have got money to some people, you have got some degree of power, and you can easily actually control a society. If that is what we see Wicknell Chivayo as well. Just imagine an individual such as Gudawashe Takwire funding almost 3/4 of the conference of Zanu PF, for giving them 75% of the funds that they require, and then the party only just asked to contribute 25%. You can see the degree of the influence that these individuals have within Zanu PF. Now, if that continues, then it means Zimbabwe will perish politically, and also the business space will continue to be enjoyed by very few, and the Zimbabweans will only be given crumbs, and they will selectively do so. That is why it is fundamentally important for this faction to be thwarted, and most probably even for Zanu PF to be thwarted. But does the other faction has the strategy? Does the opposition also equally has the strategy? That is the mind-boggling question at the moment, because of late the opposition has been showing, no strategy at all and tactical value. When it comes to the faction of retired General Chwenga, we are waiting to see it, because we cannot conclusively judge it at the moment. It will be a serious mistake and a serious miscalculation. They have to be given time. We will be watching them closely, especially this year, up to next year, on how they try to actually rain down on the other faction, which seems so determined, and they have invested a lot. And they are actually putting their lives on the line. It's a battle of survival more than anything for them. And anyone who is actually facing that with a lot of power in terms of finance and some degree of control in terms of security apparatus, that person becomes very, very dangerous. You cannot underestimate the power of such an individual. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support our channel by pressing the subscribe plus button or join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Also to remember to support my album, which is available on all digital platforms, be it your Spotify, be it your YouTube Music, all digital platforms. You can actually buy it, you can stream it. Let's share the links with our loved ones and share the love that comes with the album. Umtaban is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Check out the link that I will